grab a blanket. Alright. So basically, feel free to do as much as you want. Alright, sign date? Yeah, you're signing out over your house and stuff, you know?
That's all it is.
Okay, here we are, getting ready. We're at the no parking sign where we're supposed to get loaded. Our team is across the street. We're at the storekeepers here in Hebron. It's chilly, 15, 16, 17 degrees. Here comes our team. Wilma's the one you can hear crying. She's a young one. She's excited. This is our trail. Here they come.
Head! Thunder, back to your head. Alright.
Ready? Come on!
Up. You tell him, American.
You're moving right along.
Here, you want to hold that for a minute?
Yep.
Well, don't put your front hand in front of it.
Well, sorry, I can't tell. Put a.
I'll get my mitten back on.
I can't tell what's going here.
Okay.
All right. No. How many miles?
On average, normally it's right around 10 miles.
Okay.
But today we're going, the trails are really hard and they're fast.
Yeah.
And so, we're going to be going anywhere from 12 to 18.
Wow.
It all depends on how fast these guys run.
Right.
On my last tour, I just took a 2-hour tour. And normally at most we'll go 12 miles, but I had to go like 16 miles with them because I would have done the tour in an hour.
Yeah.
If I would have done the normal 12.
They're amazing animals.
And some people, they understand, like, it's the same distance, it's just they were running faster today, but most people, they pay for 2 hours, they want 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, we just added more miles on. But normally, it's only right around 10 to 12 miles at the most. But
Yeah.
today, we're probably going to be going closer to 16,
Wow.
depending on how these guys move.
That's pretty good. Well, they'll want a lot of treats when they get back.
Yeah, they get a good snack when they get back. They get a mixture of some water, and they also get a little bit of meat all mixed together. It's like a soup that they get. Gives them a little bit of calories and a little bit of water.
Yeah. Now, do these dogs usually live outside? Do they have their houses? Or?
For the most part, they live outside.
Yeah.
They'll come inside here and there and just hang out and lay on the couch and watch TV with us here and there. For the most part, they live outside. Some of the dogs like coming inside. Some of the dogs hate it.
Yeah.
And other dogs, they don't really care either way.
Okay.
But they all live outside for the most part.
Yeah.
They each have their own house. They can share houses if they want to, but most of them just sleep in their own.
Yeah.
Some of them won't even sleep in their houses on the warm nights.
Yeah.
They sleep outside in the snowbanking or something. But it's not just like a typical like little dog house you can buy at like Tractor Supply or something. And it's definitely not those like plastic igloos you can buy. We custom make our own dog houses.
They have their own condo.
Yeah, and they're fully insulated and everything.
Yeah.
And they have little wind protection, so the element of wind and snow and stuff like that don't get into their house. And,
That's good.
and then the house is filled with straw as well to keep for a nice bedding.
Right.
And then straw is also a thermal bed. The straw is hollow, so when the dogs sleep on it, their body heats up the air inside the straw.
Okay.
And it creates a nice thermal bed.
Good.
Keeps them nice and warm.
That's good.
On the really warm nights, anything like above 30 degrees, they'll pull all their straw out of their house and sleep outside in like a little nest outside their house instead of being in the house because it's just too warm.
Yeah, true snow dogs. What
Oh,
what is the what do you call them?
The breed?
The breed. Thank you.
Yeah, so most of them are Alaskan Huskies.
Okay.
Mackie and Thunder are 2 leaders. They're both Alaskan Huskies. And then Wilma, our middle left, is an Alaskan Husky. Kakashi, our middle right, is an Alaskan mixed with a Siberian. He has like a quarter Siberian mixed into him, and then 3/4 Alaskan Husky.
Okay.
And then the 2 in the back are called Euro Hounds. They're 3/4 Alaskan Husky and a quarter German Shorthair Pointer.
Okay.
We used to breed the hound into the Huskies when we used to race a lot. It makes them a little bit leaner and faster.
Okay.
So it gives you just a little bit of an advantage in a race. And they also can deal with the heat a lot better. The Alaskan Huskies, you have to stop running them at like 50 degrees, or you take the chance of giving them heat stroke. And like the Siberians, you have to stop running them at like 40 degrees, 45 area. But the Euro Hounds, you can stop running them at like 60. So it's only like 10 degrees difference, but that 10 degrees is like a whole nother month of running.
Yeah.
So it gives you just a bit of an advantage in a race.
Yeah.
And they're willing to push a little bit harder than the Siberians and the Huskies because they don't heat up as fast. So the Huskies, they heat up and then they kind of slow down so they don't want to overheat. And the Euros, it takes them a little bit longer to get to that point where they're going to be like hot.
Yeah.
But now that we don't race, we don't really breed them anymore. We're just we're not going to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Just because they don't quite look the part anymore.
Yeah.
They're still our kids and our babies, and we still love them. They still love to run. So.
How many dogs do you have total?
Just a couple. We have 105.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. We have about 6 acres all fenced in of kennel for all the dogs.
They're all together then?
Yeah, they're all together. The males and females are separated, but the males have about 3 acres to themselves, and the females have about 3 acres to themselves.
Okay.
It's a nice little...
Sounds like they have it pretty good.
Yeah. They got a lot of room to run around and play in. And then they get tons of exercise. They get like a top quality food.
Yeah.
And then they get tons of love, and they live for a long time. They have long, happy lives.
That's good.
We have some, we've had dogs live up to 17. Gee! They say a Husky on average, will live to like 10 to 12. And our Huskies usually live to like 14 or 16.
Wow.
On average. We have like 2 dogs at the house right now that are 16 years old. They're retired now. They don't run, but they're still kicking. They're still getting around and hanging out. We have like 3 15-year-olds and like 4 13-year-olds at the house. They're all retired.
Will they live long because they're being taken good care of?
Yeah. We believe so. We believe they're happy and they get they're healthy and happy and they live for a long time.
Right.
Generally, if dogs aren't taken care of real well, they don't live that long.
Yeah. So now there's a bunch of you that do this, right? Yep. So now do you all corporately own the dogs, or do you have your own specific dogs that are yours?
Alex owns all the dogs, the owner. Okay. My brother, he works with us. He has 14 of his own dogs that live at the kennel. Okay. My brother is the kennel manager. He lives at the kennel with Alex, and he helps take care of the animals, the dogs all year round.
Okay.
I work all winter long, But in the summertime, I don't work for him anymore. I still come up because I'm his neighbor. I live one house away. And so I still go over there in the summertime and hang out, see the dogs.
Yeah.
But I don't really work for him anymore in the summertime. I have my own job in the summer. My brother helps take care of the dogs all year round. And my brother has his own sled dogs. He has, I think, 14 of his own. And they live right at the kennel. Actually, our back right is my brother's dog, Oksana. The other 6 are Alex's. And so I have 3 of my own dogs, but they're not really sled dogs. I have a retired sled dog who's our back left's uncle. Our back left is Captain America. I have his uncle. He actually looks just like Captain. Just a little bit taller than Captain, but looks very similar. And his name is Chevy, or Chevette. He ran for a few years and then he retired. And normally Alex keeps all the dogs when they retire until it's their time to go. They work hard for him. He takes care of them for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
When it's their time to retire, he doesn't just get rid of them or go bring them to a pound or something like that.
Yeah.
They're still his family, even though they're not running for him anymore. But I really like Chevette. He was definitely one of my favorites in the kennel, and I asked if I could keep him, if I could take him home when he retired, and Alex said I could.
Oh, that was nice.
So a couple more of our sleds.
We're gonna have a collision here.
Mate! Mate! Hey, Doug.
So how long have you been doing this?
I've been running for 10 years. I started when I was 15.
Oh,
No, because you just blinded me. I'm trying.
Start getting warm, and right around that 25-degree mark, they can start getting warm while they're running. They're not really that hot, but they can definitely start getting warm, and so they'll start eating snow to help cool them off. The only way dogs can cool off is by panting.
yeah.
They can exchange a little bit of heat through their feet, but not really a lot, and not really much to kind of melt or anything. But they can definitely sweat a little bit through their feet.
Well, they have to stay hydrated somehow.
Yeah. They go through a lot of water. So they, in order to cool off, they pant and they try to cool their mouth off. So they'll eat a bunch of snow to kind of help cool them off.
Yeah.
And it also helps give them a little drink.
Did you
Thank
say?
you, Mackie.
Let me see. I didn't hear that very well.
Thunder pulled him back over. And Mackie's like, nope, he asked us to go right. Let's go right. They creates the habit, and generally we don't go this way very often.
Yeah.
But the last couple of days, the trail's been really fast, so we've been going as much distance as we can.
Yeah.
And so we've been taking all these long trails and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it's not into their habit about going this direction. But
Yeah.
they sometimes question it when you're telling them the truth or not. Gee! I didn't really want to go down this one. This one's a little bit rough. The other path that we were just on to our right, and then they kind of cut back to the left a little bit more.
Yeah.
Is a lot smoother. This one is a little bit on the bumpy
A little more
side.
bumpy, yeah.
That's what I normally run on. Is right there. You can kind of see where all the snowmobiles have been kind of going right to our right, like 10 feet over. Where they wanted to go on this one for some reason. So this right here, South Pond, we're about like probably 10, 12 feet of water right now underneath us.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully we don't go through. We don't feel like swimming this
That
one.
would be nice, yeah. I didn't bring my
So
swimsuit.
how would we get in here with a canoe?
So you can drive in from the Buckfield side.
Okay.
So you come in by the Buckfield Town Garage and you drive down this little roadway.
Okay.
Down the trail, and you're allowed to drive in all the way up to this lake.
Okay.
And then you have to. They have a gate up here that we're going to be going through once we get back onto the trail in a minute.
Yep.
And they close that gate in the all the way up until the snow flies.
Okay.
And the groomers have the key to it. So as soon as the groomers stop going through the trail, they shut the gate.
Yeah.
And they lock it. And as soon as the groomers stop going on the trail, they open the gates up. But most of the year, the gates are closed. They just open them up so the groomers can go through.
Yeah.
And but they keep the gates closed because Hebron doesn't want cars and trucks on their side.
Yeah.
Because they have a couple spots in the trails where it floods out because there's some beavers that are further back in the trail. And they flood the trails out every year. And people would bring their trucks in there and then they would get into the mud.
Yeah.
And they would flood it all up and just destroy the trail. 2 years ago, somebody, so the gate's right here, this red pole.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Somebody 2 years ago, they in like October, they broke through this gate. They cut the bolt, the padlock, and then they drove right through. And then up here a little ways, there's a little clearing. There's a trail that goes off to your right, and there's a trail that goes off to your left. And it's kind of a little opening, and they buried their truck right there. There was a big old water pit. And right here where we're on right now, they had to put this ditch in our left last year because this was all underwater, and the truck, a couple four-wheelers came in here and rutted this all up where we're right now.
Yeah.
So they put in a big ditch right there to kind of pull some of the water down into there.
Yep.
So that trail wasn't flooding, and now the trail doesn't really flood there anymore. Luckily, that little hole right there to the left fills up full of water. But they try to keep the cars and trucks off this side of the trail to keep the trail nice, smooth. But every so often people can be jerks.
That's sad.
Yeah, and unfortunately that's how trails get closed down.
Yeah.
Because if people don't respect them and they abuse them, then the town can say, you know what, I'm done fixing it. I'm just going to close it. Nobody's going to be allowed to ride it anymore. And they can decide to shut that trail down.
And you really can't blame them.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work that they had to go through here. He had just barely started running tours, and he had been doing it for, at that point, about 3 years when I came on. And my first year with him, I think we did like 130 tours, and I thought that was a lot. That's pretty cool. Normally, like I'll go and I'll eat like a banana at night or something like that, and that kind of helps. I'll eat one in the morning and stuff, and it kind of, it's that potassium and everything. It helps you. I don't know why, but potassium, I guess, helps you get the cramps out of you.
Yeah.
And that's another one my grandfather told me is eat bananas. But he also told me about the pickle juice thing. I just always thought that was a joke. I know banana works.
Not a joke.
No, because it works for him and his sister.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to try that out.
I don't get cramps. Maybe it's because I'm short. Maybe that helps because he's,
I used to buy everything from her, and then she taught me how to make the lines. It's kind of like knitting almost. And you use a sewing needle. You use a knitting needle to make the lines. And you just cut them in half, and you need to be able to access the hollow part of it.
Okay.
And, but I learned how to make the sleds, I learned how to make the lines, I learned how to dog sled. I like to learn all those little things that not a lot of people really even scared of. Interesting.
So you like survival type things?
Yeah, I like to self-sufficient. Oh, we gotta go further, boys. G! We're going G! Thank you. They used to always go left right there, back to the left.
We're going somewhere else, guys.
But we've only been about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah?
So you gotta go a little bit.
Alright.
Oh! We'll take them up a hill.
Give them a little more exercise. Yeah, we like the whole survival thing as far as learning how to be self-sufficient.
Yeah,
You know, it's a good thing to know.
I know how to garden, I know how to farm, I know how to butcher my own meat, I know how to raise my own meat.
That we haven't done.
I've raised my own pigs and I've butchered my own pigs. I've raised my own chickens, my own turkeys, and I've butchered them all. I can remember raising a pig up and then I was butchering it and I was doing it in the garage, and then I didn't really have room and my mom was working, so I was like, well, I took it and I took a half of it and I cut it right down the center and cut it in half and brought one half and threw it right on my kitchen table.
Right.
And was sitting there cutting it all up, packaging it all up right on my kitchen table. When my mom got home, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I needed a room. And she didn't think it was very funny, but I did. Well, I've butchered pigs right on the kitchen table. I'm an avid hunter. I love hunting. And I love fishing. I'm not really big into eating fish.
Right.
There's some fish that I'll eat, but most of them I'd rather just catch and release.
Yeah.
But I just do it for the hobby. But I know how to fish and I know how to prepare fish if I needed to eat a fish.
Yeah.
And so I pivot the sled right around.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, guys.
Get ready to pivot.
Thank you. Woo, ahead. Back, thunder, ahead. Right. Ahead. The weight in the sled also kind of helps put weight in the back.
Oh.
Then I can just pick up the front on your toes, and then they'll pull the front right around.
Okay.
They just kind of push the back of the snowbank in a little bit.
Yeah, we're getting
Well,
there.
if you let me help you. Hey, just like that. You know, nice and easy.
Yeah.
When there's no weight in the sled just wants to tip right over.
You've got to be ready to get on when they're all
yeah.
there.
Hell yeah. You got to definitely catch the sled, or they will leave me, and then I don't feel like walking 5 miles back to the truck.
Yeah.
That would not make my day, that's for sure.
Have you ever had anything like that happen?
I've been ripped off the sled before.
Really?
Never here.
Yeah.
But I got ripped off up in Bethel, up in Evans Notch.
Okay.
There's a trail up there that we used to run a lot.
Yeah.
And we climb up White Mountain, is what it's called.
Yeah.
And I was on my way up, get up to the top. There's a nice little plateau up to the very top of the mountain, and you kind of stand up there and you can look out over, and you can see Mount Washington and everything. It's really pretty up there.
Yeah.
So we took a break up top. Well, on the way back down, apparently at some point a tree had fallen across the trail.
Oh.
But it wasn't like against the ground.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It was like 3 feet or so off the ground. So it was like just above your head.
Yeah.
So the sled went right underneath it, but then it hit on the handlebar. So then I had to pick the sled, the log up over the handlebar, and it was like a 6-inch around birch tree or so.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a huge tree, but it was a decent sized tree. It was heavy enough that I had to really try to pick it up, and it went across the entire trail. So I couldn't just like go around it. I had to go underneath it. So I was sitting there and I was trying to pick it up, and I had both my hands on it, and I was sitting there lifting it, and I just was getting it almost above the handlebar, and then I was gonna duck underneath it real quick and just like launch underneath it. Well, my customer, he had looked up and he noticed that I was trying to pick this log up over the sled, and at that point the dogs had been pulling the entire time, so I'd been pulling the tree down the hill, so there was a lot of pressure on that tree.
Yeah.
And when he looked up and he noticed that I was trying to pick the tree up off the sled, he thought he'd be nice and he'd help me out. So then he went and he put his 2 hands on the sled, on the log, and he picked straight up. Well, it definitely helped me out.
Yeah.
It picked it up right out of my hand, hit me right in the chest, and launched me back like 10 feet
Oh, no.
off the sled.
Oh.
And so then the sled goes underneath the log, starts flying down the hill.
Yep.
And I'm not on the sled.
Yep.
So I can't stop the dogs, I can't slow them down. I got out and I'm starting to run down the hill as fast as I can, yelling, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Trying to get the dogs to stop. They're ignoring me and just running for all their worth down the hill. My customer didn't realize he had knocked me off the sled. So apparently he was still talking to me. And he could hear me saying, whoa. And then it was getting quieter and quieter, he said. And then he thought to look up and realized I wasn't there. And he's like, uh-oh. So while they were going down the hill, and I wasn't on the back, he did something that it took me a while to learn how to do. I had to be trained to do it. But he went from where you're sitting, and he had his wife in front of him, but he was able to stand up from where you're sitting.
Wow.
And get over the handlebars, get onto the back of the sled, and was able to hit the brake.
Yep.
And stop the team without flipping the sled over.
Amazing.
And
Wow.
I was like, that was really incredible to watch.
Yep.
It's
I was
amazing.
like, I have never seen a customer be able to do that.
It's amazing what adrenaline will do to you.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe it. He's like, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to knock you off the sled. I was like, it wasn't your fault, you were trying to help me out. I was like, it was just kind of a bad luck situation. But he stopped the team, nobody got hurt. I got back on the sled and we finished the run. And we all had fun, and I got a good story out of it.
Yeah, really, that's true.
But that was the last time I ever got launched off a sled, and that was like 6 years ago. But that was it was definitely kind of funny. After I caught the sled, I was definitely pretty worried watching that sled just fly down the mountain with me not being on it.
Yeah, that's something scary.
I was a little bit scared. And it was also, I'd only been working for Alex for that was like my 2nd season with him.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, there that goes. I'm
done.
I just launched the team down the mountain. And I was like, yeah, there goes my job. And, luckily, he stopped the team. I was able to catch it. They only ran like maybe a half a mile before he was able to get the team to stop.
Now, did he have any experience?
Nope, none.
Unreal.
In Florida.
Wow.
And he barely ever even seen snow.
Yep.
It was just, I don't know, he just
He figured it out.
Oh yeah, and I can do it. I can get from the basket to the back of the sled while the sled's moving, but it's really, really tippy. The sled wants to tip over while you're doing it because you're essentially hanging over like this, and you're trying to climb around your sled.
Yeah.
And so you're putting all your weight on one side, so your sled's trying to tip over.
Yeah.
And going down the hill, they were hitting probably 20 miles an hour heading down that hill.
Wow.
And he was able to just climb right up over, and stomp on the brake within I don't know, and he noticed that I was off the sled, and he immediately started trying to get to the back. It was like 20 seconds, and he was already stopped, and he had stopped the team. From the point he noticed that I wasn't on the sled, he did it really quick.
Yeah.
I swore that he must have done that before, but no, he had never done anything like it before, never, and he apparently had really good balance. It was definitely my savior that day.
Yeah.
Was he a service person? Like a Marine or something?
Yeah, something, I don't know, but it was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Now I joke around, I was like, I had the best customer for that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that could have been a really bad situation really easily. Somebody could have definitely got hurt, or the dogs could have got hurt. But,
right. So maybe we should go with a brake case.
Yeah, the brake is the big metal bar right in between my legs. You can't really miss it.
We'll remember that.
You ever got to step on that brake, you just stomp both feet right on that big metal bar, and you just plant all your weight right on it. And hope if you're not heavy enough, you won't stop them, but at least slow them down. But generally, it don't take much weight to stop the dog. So if you can... Hey!
Well, we used to get in the walk in here for
Yeah. Okay.